well, maybe
anybody else out there has seen us yet.
Maybe there was this little technical glitch that I just fixed, and maybe now we are live. I'm gonna guess there's a slight delay right there, and all the brilliant banter that we just did was wasted. As a matter of fact, that was probably the best part of the show, unfortunately. But we are here. We are live.
Go to Reset Drones channel.
We are here live. No, if you just refresh that, you'll get it here in a second. And you have to actually hit the little play button.
Back. Here we go.
But we are live from Colorado.
Look at this.
I've got Ed Ricker and Sean Oz from World of Oz, and we're super excited to be here. Sean invited us to come up at Spin Up, and actually there were a few other people that he invited who weren't able to make it, but Ed and I made the trek, Southern boys here in the north, or I shouldn't say north, here in the west, Colorado.
Feels like north.
Man, it's been awesome. What have we been up to?
Well, you guys came in and showed you the shop, showed you my back YouTube studio, showed you the tattoo area, brought you snowboarding. We went out on a frozen lake. Guys have never walked on a frozen lake before, right?
Never.
Crazy.
3 foot of ice. What else did we do? We went, Ed jumped in the big old snowbank and just flopped around like
multiple times. That was a good time. I misunderstood. I thought I was supposed to roll into it. He wanted me to just jump 2 feet into it?
Yeah, because I would have like sank to your knees. But no, he just went barrel roll right into it.
That's why I was checking to see if there was anything hard down there. And yeah, there was nothing. But anyway.
And see, Sean said bank, and I assumed we were going to get some money or something out of this bank, but no, it was just cold.
Yeah, it was really... Today was probably the coldest day of the entire winter for me.
Yeah.
So it must have been really cold for you guys.
Coldest day I've had in a long time. As a matter of fact, we were driving along. His car has a thermometer. It said like 21, and then it said 17, and then we got a little higher up in the mountain, and it said 8. And I was like, oh, I'm going to take a picture of that, because that's pretty low. And then it said 5, and we hit -1?
I think
-2. Got some pictures of -2. That's the coldest I've felt in maybe ever. I don't know.
We got a video clip of it that we'll roll for you guys eventually here.
We have a ton of great video clips, as a matter of fact, and they're all kind of in an order here. So you can either just call them and I'll bring them up, or we can try to do them somewhat in the order. I think the biggest thing that we could talk about first, maybe, Sean, the first night we were here, after we snowboarded a bit, we went to that ice castle. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, the ice castle. They build it pretty much every year here in Dillon, and it's amazing. It's just built with water every night. They freeze water and create all these shapes and mazes and lights in it and water splashes, and it's like Frozen come to real life.
Shall we take a look at a few clips?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. So that was a fountain. What was going on with that, Sean?
I did not see the clip you played. So.
It's the fountain.
Oh, the fountain. That was a 360 camera. So that was the GoPro Max, and it's a waterproof camera. And basically, I wanted to hold it up over the fountain and sort of do a scan of the area. And then eventually, we were like, hey, wait, this thing is waterproof. And we did another clip, which you'll see on my channel later, where I actually stuck it in, and the fountains are like that.
That's pretty cool.
Right into the camera, and I got some amazing still shots that I need to get off my butt and post on Instagram.
I've never seen some still shots like that from a 360 camera that's so crazy like that. It's just like you spend hours trying to frame it correctly or something, but you can do it in just a few seconds.
And it was from the still. The interesting thing about the 360, the Max, the GoPro Max, is the 360 mode only does 30 frames a second.
Okay.
And normally when you do a still shot from 30 frames a second, it's sort of blurry.
Right.
Crisp. It's so crisp. And for water motion to be that crisp, like I actually drew the thing, really impresses me.
That's cool. That's cool.
All right, your doofus producer here just realized that the shotgun mic wasn't plugged in, so we were using the camera mic. So the audio hopefully just got a lot better. I also wanted to mention about these slides. So I got 2 clips of the slides. The first one is Sean going down, and the slides are made totally of ice. So your butt gets cold and takes a bit of a beating. So let's take a look.
Okay. Awesome. Here we go.
I'm winning! I kicked your ass. So there's 2 slides right next to each other. It's like a racer. So it's a little girl getting paid probably $6 an hour. She's got these little mats, and you sit down on those, and then she shoves you down the slides, and you can see each other through the ice wall, which hopefully you can see in that video. But you can see we're racing down. My girlfriend's on one side, and then all of us took turns going down, and it was just,
cool.
a blast.
I didn't know you could see the other person on the other side. That's pretty cool. I was on the outside filming with the GoPro on one of these shots, but no, I didn't know you could actually see the other person.
The guy at the end, I actually almost took out. He jumped to get out of the way.
Is it because you pushed yourself so fast? Yeah. This guy was cheating. We didn't know that, you could also push yourself to gain speed. I was just like, I'll just ease my way down. This guy's like, whoosh.
Yeah.
So Sean, it made everything a bit of a race. So here's me racing against Sean and losing, but you can tell I'm having a lot of fun.
You gotta get tired.
I'm only here like a couple hours a day.
Get your legs straight out there.
So that actually was my scream. That wasn't added in post. That was me screaming.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Now we know.
These guys are kind of freaked out because they're watching a delayed feed.
No, I love it. So we're talking,
Yeah.
if it seems like we're talking about the thing after the fact, it's because we are.
Yeah, okay.
Correct.
Well, yeah, so what'd you scream like? I have it muted. I didn't hear it. It was like...
It's like, no, it wasn't high pitched. It was a very manly scream. It was like, ah! and then Sean threw this twisty effect on the video.
Was it like the original Dubbo when he saw the bat?
Right.
That will be forever.
Yeah, and
I'm
he
sorry,
was
Ken.
supposed to be here, right? If
He was.
Ken in the chat.
It was him and I that first started talking about doing all this, and then we brought you
Jason
guys in.
Flanagan is in the chat. Way to go, Jason. Good to see you, buddy. So who else do we have? We have Artco in there. We've got Mel. We've got Joe Blaylock. Looks like we've got Oz by Drone joining us.
Jenna's in there. She
Jenna?
says the audio is better now.
Nice. Thank you.
Steve Carpenter's in there. He says hello. He asked if I was feeding you that Rocky Mountain Coors Aid.
And is Steve the one to thank
Steve is the one to
for
thank
this
for the
little
Skydio.
Skydio?
Right here, check it out, Steve.
Ooh.
We've been playing with it, and we had a little issues because it was so cold today. And I finally got it to work in the cold. And I've got a couple clips in here to show you guys what it's like with the controller, not the tracking. Forget the tracking stuff that everybody talks about. People are doing it wrong, and I'm going to be showing you later on my channel a video why I think that is. But we're going to talk a little bit about it today because I showed Kelly and Ed.
First time
cool
I've
stuff.
seen one in person. You?
Me too.
Yeah.
What did you guys? I mean, we'll show you the clip later. But what did you think of the way it was flying through the trees?
It's pretty crazy, and you kept saying, I would never do this with a regular Mavic or something like this. It's because of the surrounding sensors and the ability to use the remote control to fly it where you want to go, between trees or around obstacles, but trusting that the obstacle avoidance is going to keep you safe, having done this. So you're flying backwards, completely flying blind.
Trees everywhere around.
And it's just kind of weaving backwards around trees. It was very impressive. We'll see some of that later.
No,
Thank you, Steve, though. Thank you. Very much.
Yeah, it was really cool to see that there. And I'll tell you, the other thing that just blew me away about it was the battery. Well, it's not in there right now, but it's just a big magnet. Nobody had really talked about that, or none of the videos I'd seen had talked about how cool that was to attach it to the Skydio. Just click, goes right in.
Right on.
But for everyone who is sitting at home, especially those of you who live in Texas or live in Florida or live in other warm places, I did want to mention. Oh, do you need something?
No, we're trying not to punch.
Yeah.
There's delicate wiring here. We don't want to
just
punch.
Yeah. If
anything.
you move everything really slowly, it
Okay,
should be
we do?
okay.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, okay. This should be okay.
Tell us if anything goes with
Can
you fit?
3 more inches?
That's
what she
You're
said.
good. You're good. You good? Yes,
So
good?
I wanted to just show everybody.
Yesterday,
Yesterday, we actually got to go snowboard at Keystone. But today we were going to go to Arapahoe Basin to snowboard. But here's what we woke up to. This was probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning. And, if you look outside, this is the porch of the condo where we're staying. And it was just blowing and blowing and blowing. I mean, the weather, it was just insane how much we were hearing the wind and seeing these snow flurries. And there were certain times when it blew up onto the window where you actually couldn't even see outside. It was just like whiteout for a few minutes. So anyway, we didn't end up going to Arapahoe this morning because it was so ugly and bad.
Oh, nice clip.
I will say, it's like that now. You see a little bit of a whiteout here and there. But there were some times where we were driving today where, Sean, you had to literally slow down almost to a crawl just to wait for all the snow out to whiteout to go to pass by.
We drove up to Loveland Pass, which is about 12,000 feet. and they just opened the pass, which we'll show you a clip and talk more about it later. But there are definitely times up there the wind is kicking hard, and I pretty much stopped on the road because we didn't want to drive off the side and kill these guys.
Yeah, Sean didn't matter, but he drives a bit of a tank, so I wasn't that worried. But in order to pass the time, we actually did some pretty cool stuff. Before it cleared up, we actually went to Sean's studio and did a little bit of flying around in his studio. So if you guys have never seen or heard of Summit Inc., this is his tattoo studio, and this is what it looked like when we were flying around in it. Sean's kind of showing us all the art that he's got on the wall. He's got some really cool ink that is apparently you can drink it. I didn't know you could drink ink. There's more art on the other wall over there. As a matter of fact, Ed tried to knock over one of his big displays of art at one point.
Yeah.
And then if you fly over this wall here, you go into his storeroom. It's kind of cool. It's a brick wall, but it's not really a brick wall. This is Ed flying, by the way. I always hit the thing. Here's his office. So flying around in his actual office studio where he's got his lights. He's got a Steve Caballero Pal Peralta board, which is the first board I ever had, which is kind of funny. But his is a replica.
Yeah.
But I don't have mine anymore. And then he's got these cool things, including a 1,000 subscriber plaque on his wall, which his girlfriend made for him. And then he has an awesome bathroom where he likes to spend some time, as you can see. So way to go there, Sean. It was really, really cool seeing that place. But in addition to just having some time to take a tour of the place, we also had a chance to kind of fly around in it a little bit, and it was so much fun to actually fly in the studio. I mean, just that opportunity to get to do some FPV around the studio, going a little crazy, as you can see here. I think this was Ed as well. I had some pretty good flights, but I couldn't compare to Ed's flights. His were sort of in control and sort of.
Well, I did crash quite a bit. A lot of these little micros are pretty solid, and so even though you might look like you just crashed and it's like going to be a horrible thing to walk up to and pick up, more than likely it's going to be okay, and you can continue flying.
What were you flying here in this clip?
This one is looks like the Ishin trash can. It's a 2-cell micro quad.
We also call it the Dizzy Machine.
Yes, exactly. So I mean, it's fun. But one of these things with flying quads like this, even small ones indoors, we're at pretty high altitude right here. So we're at what, 9,200 feet?
Yeah, you get really tired. You get really winded from flying these quads.
Well, yeah. So I mean, what I'm saying, you might actually. You start breathing heavy for no apparent reason. But also,
it's because of lack of oxygen. Man.
No apparent reason other than lack of oxygen. But also, these quads and these drones just act differently, and sometimes they don't act the way that you think they might, especially at sea level.
Change that to all
altitude.
chat.
What's all chat?
I live chat.
Speaking of chat, by the way, we have someone from Ireland. He said it's 3:27 a.m. Stephen from Ireland, watching from Ireland at 3:27 a.m. So loads of coffee on hand. So thank you, Stephen, for burning the midnight.
Thanks for staying up late. Yeah, as a matter of fact, guys, we were actually planning to do this around 7 p.m. Colorado time, which would have been 8. But we just weren't ready.
We wanted to show you all these clips, and we had to edit them, and we were all three powerhouse editing at the same time. I was making a thumbnail, and we were just boom, 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 to the second that we got started.
Yeah, literally like a minute or two before we started, you were sending
I don't think I was sitting down when we started.
So speaking of indoor FPV, we're staying in a pretty cool condo. We're sitting there right now, which Sean hooked up for us. It's an Airbnb thing, right?
Yeah,
near Keystone.
Yep.
But what I wanted to show you guys was a little FPV action that we had here in the condo last night. So this is us kind of barreling around the actual condo. Oh, did you land on the ceiling fan?
Yeah, I did.
When did that happen? I don't think I ever saw that.
It was just a brief thing.
Pull it off.
Wow.
Someone
Nicely
said
done.
land on the ceiling fan. It's right there. Now, if it was spinning, that would be a tall.
That would be a little harder. But no, we just we're kind of cruising around.
you.
Yeah, there's my Tiny Hawk 2. We were cruising around in here. Sean was chasing us around with the camera. We let Sean fly a little bit until disaster happened. No, nothing bad happened. But yeah, I mean, he's hooked us up with this awesome place to stay, and we have been here the last 2 nights. This is our 3rd night. Ed and I both fly out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Weather pending, we'll get back to Denver and then both hop on a plane, return the rental car, all that good stuff. But man, it's been such a blast to do all this stuff. I'm gonna go back over to here.
A guy in the chat name, where'd it go? Flight time?
Okay.
You know, he says, who's Sean Oz?
Who is Sean Oz? It's this dude right here.
Yeah, me.
Just go to World of Oz and check it out. Sean was actually a speaker at Spin Up, so if you were at Spin Up, you would have seen his speech. He was at Spin Up the year before.
Yeah.
Good friend
That's
of
sick.
the drone community, and you know, his channel's not just about drones. So you know, if you want to see other stuff like art, tattoos, RC cars.
Yeah, mostly
what's
the
your
channel. The channel is mostly about making videos using action cameras, drones, 360 cameras in a way that you don't have to do a lot of color correcting or nonsense to just make fun, awesome looking, artistic, cool videos to capture your life. And it's surrounded in the mountains. I mean, I film it in the mountains. So
Yeah, to give you a sense of what it looks like around here, this was Ed flying off the, or no, that's Sean actually, flying off the balcony of the condo that we're in, flying his Mavic 2 Zoom, and I mean, it's just this beautiful town called Dillon, and it's right near Keystone, and yeah, I mean, you just get a good sense of how much snow is out there, first of all. And by the way, I had never been on a frozen lake until a couple
we
days
get a
ago.
clip of that, or you have a clip of the lake?
I do.
Do later on. Yeah, a little bit later.
But actually, you can see in the background of this shot around the condo, back to the left of it, that is the lake that is out there.
Yeah.
So one thing about all this, though, oh, that's the ice castle. That's the outside of the ice
We have
castle.
some more clips of the ice castle.
That we were in as
Oh,
well.
super chat.
What?
Fly natural.
Hey, what's up, Roosevelt? Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I actually, what did I sent you something today, or maybe you just commented on a video, and I just, for some reason, you were on my mind. So thank you for the super chat. I definitely appreciate it. By the way, I haven't talked about it because I haven't had a chance to send it to him yet. But Tater Rogers, who I think is watching right now,
Yeah, he just made a pretty funny comment. He likes my Nightmare Before Christmas JDs.
Nice.
Well,
So-
I'm winding down.
So Tater was subscriber of the month for January, and I'll announce February. But this, Tater, I was waiting to get these in because you're getting one of these in addition to a bunch of other stuff. This is a Yeti, or an actual real Yeti tumbler. Keeps your hot and your cold, and it's got the Ready Set Drone logo on it. So Tater, as subscriber of the month, you will be getting one of these.
It's nice, high quality.
Yeah,
And you say it keeps things hot for hours.
Yeah.
Cold for hours.
Or cold for hours. I mean, here in this climate, it's actually a pretty good thing.
It's legit. It's not like a generic version. It's really
Yeah, it's the
nice
actual
and-
real Yeti thing, but it's kind of cool because they're based in Austin and they let me do that. I'm trying to talk them into sponsoring my first Friday show and giving me these for free, but we'll see how that goes.
This is
So,
nice.
in addition to the Mavic Zoom that we flew off the balcony, Ed also flew the Mavic Mini off the balcony, which you can see right here, and it was a nice little flight. He took the Mavic Mini off the balcony. We also flew it down on the frozen lake, which was pretty cool. We'll show that clip in a second. And then what did we do with it?
We went up to as high as we can go, which around here is about 12,000 feet. It was a bit of an adventure though, because what's it called?
Loveland
Pass?
Loveland Pass was closed, at least the way to get up to it, because of this crazy weather that we've had the last 24 hours.
Yep.
So we were trying to find some spots. We went up to about 9,800 feet.
Yeah.
Then we found another place that was roughly 1,100 feet. And we thought that was going to be as high as we could go. We eventually got up to Loveland Pass, flew the Mavic Mini briefly for
Seconds.
for a couple seconds
Yeah.
at 1,200 feet. Now, I would say that we could probably have flown it better if it wasn't so breezy, but it was 30, 35 mile an hour
Yeah,
gusts.
I would say so.
It was minus 2 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about minus 19 Celsius. I didn't do that off the top of my head. Someone actually helped me figure that out in the chat, so thank you. And yeah, so that's a lot of limiting factors, and it was not going our way. But anyway, so I did end up crashing my Mavic Mini slightly. I kept flying. It wasn't like
Should we play the clip?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, you about
Okay.
to?
Yeah,
This
so
is
this
fun,
this
guys.
clip actually has audio on it, so you won't be able to hear us comment.
okay.
Before we start, let me. So they do avalanche blasting there at the top, as you'll see in the sign. There's a big Loveland Pass sign that shows the altitude, and then you can see how windy it was in a little bit of this clip, and then what part takes after that.
Hey, and by the way, 2 more super chats from Artco Drone Solutions. Thank you, Art, and from Ray Bob's Antics. Thank you guys for the super chats very much. Artco,
I know we did.
you know, we've been talking about you a lot this weekend because you're from Colorado as well, and I wish that I had had time to come visit you. I do fly out back to Austin tomorrow, but I'm excited to possibly talk about. I don't even know if I should bring this up yet because it's not a done deal, but we're considering Colorado as a location for spin up next year.
And not just Colorado, but here in the mountains.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
with in the fall or late summer, so that you guys
September
would have
time frame.
all the leaves changing colors. You'd have such a beautiful, beautiful.
Sean's been
area.
pushing me pretty hard for moving it here.
Well, I wouldn't say moving it. I wouldn't say moving it. Rotating it.
Rotating it.
Well,
Well,
but that also depends on you guys. Do you
Yeah.
want to come fly and see speakers up here? We found a couple places that we're going to be talking to some people, but it really depends on you guys. Is coming up to the mountains themselves worth it for you to come fly and not just see speakers, but then we do a secondary day like spin down, but we really push that as part of the event itself?
Yeah. I mean, it's about an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes
Yeah.
from Denver. So you have to fly to Denver and then drive here,
Yeah,
ideally. But it is a really beautiful spot. And I understand that in the fall, it's really
Oh, it's
awesome
gorgeous.
too.
It's
But
gorgeous.
let's not talk about the fall here for a minute.
And before we do that, it's related to this. Mel, 400 AGL, thank you so much. He actually commented that I was misspeaking this entire time. I was saying like 100
Did you say
instead of
1,200
1,000.
feet?
I said like something like 1,200 feet. So yes,
Oh,
it's
yes.
12,000 feet.
12,000.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't understand why it's so hard to fly a drone at 1,200 feet, I don't blame you. 12,000 feet above sea
And
level.
I'll bet Mel's driven over Loveland Pass a few times. I'm gonna guess in his time.
You could chime in.
All right, so let's take a look at what this looks like. For some reason, I couldn't add our mic to this particular clip. Actually, you know what? I could do it down here real quick. Hold on, I'm just gonna. You guys talk for a minute.
But let's make sure the wind noise blows in there because
Talk for a minute?
it's
Yeah.
blowing.
Well, another thing. So, Art of Artco Drone Solutions asked how Kelly, you and I are doing with the high altitude. Mostly, would just get a little bit of a headache, and then I felt a little fatigued. I get winded. So when we were snowboarding yesterday, I really was feeling it. But yeah, a little bit of headache. I know Kelly had a bit of a headache today. I was getting more of a headache yesterday, but a few ibuprofen and a lot of water. And just taking it easy, getting some sleep.
And it's also, I'd say it's more the cold than the altitude. But take a look at this. I think we can talk over it now. Yeah, I was able to make it so we can talk over it. So this is where we're actually flying at the Loveland Pass. Getting good results. Well, hold on. On topic. That's
Go down.
Squirrel.
Okay, you're in a. Yeah, I got it.
You're playing the wrong clip. That's the wrong clip.
oh. Okay.
That was supposed to show after you guys saw your snowboarding scenes so that he could feel better about him crashing. That's it. That's it.
I think it's
Okay.
just linked to another one.
Oh,
it
he
flows
just-
into another one.
Oh, I didn't split it
Yeah, it was
up.
like
That-
5
that
minutes
was it.
long. It was like
I split it
this,
up.
This
I
clip
didn't
was like
split it
5
up.
minutes long.
Okay.
Anyway,
My
that's what
mistake.
happens when you clip stuff right before you come online.
Yeah.
You could
Gonna be
see
errors.
just how cold it was up there. -2 degrees. Insane. It was crazy.
So we got somebody. The flight time guy is asking what is spin up. Since we briefly talked about spin
Oh,
up.
yeah.
why don't you tell him about what spin up is? The
Actually,
Austin drone
I'll
spin-up.
load up the clips.
Okay.
You guys tell them.
So, well, the first year spin up, Ed spoke.
Yes.
So why don't you tell your opinion about like the first year, and I'll talk about the
Well, he
second
didn't
year.
actually speak.
You didn't?
I spoke.
No, you
spoke
did
on
a
the
FPV demo.
I spoke.
Yeah, he spoke in front of a crowd with goggles on.
No, I spoke for a little bit and then I did a flight demo. So I mean, yeah, it was really cool to be able to get a bunch of people from YouTube and the drone community together in one spot. And 2 years ago was at the Del Diamond. Last year was at one of the Boy Scouts
Scout place or something,
headquarters or whatever. But it was in Texas both years. It was fun. It's always been actually no. The first year I guess it was a little bit cooler. The second year was a little bit earlier in the year. Was that right?
First year was December.
First year, second year was October.
So it was a little bit warmer this past year, and yeah, I mean it's great to see all these faces. You see a lot of the people in the chat that you're talking with or you're kind of commenting with. A lot of those people attended Spin Up, and so it's becoming one of these hopefully annual things, and it's just a great way for us to kind of connect and keep the community alive.
We got a couple people in the chat wanting you to make it biannual, once in like every 6 months. So once in Austin and once here.
There you go.
That'd be amazing, but I don't know if everybody could do that. That's a lot of traveling.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that.
That's a lot of like getting it ready and fixing it. There's a lot of work that goes into one of these things. I've just seen a little of the behind the scenes, and it's a lot of stuff. So
Steve said I spoke while flying in FPV. Yes, not
Yes,
just
he did.
not just
He did
speak.
speak.
Yes. Thank you.
And
Steve.
so to sum it up, basically, Spin Up is a gathering of people that love RC. It doesn't necessarily have to be drones. Drones is one of the big things, and love YouTube. So those two things together, putting together videos, learning how to do them, listening to people speak about that kind of stuff, as well as having people sometimes come in that speak on the tech side of the industry, not really YouTube related, but still drone related, or it could vary in the future. I don't know. We'll see. But that's basically it. It's a gathering of people with similar hobbies that come together and listen to speeches. It does cost money, obviously, because it costs money to put something like that together. But I had a blast both years I went.
I'll
So
say-
hopefully you guys did.
I'll say I had a lot more extended fun the second year, because the first year I flew in that evening, the evening before. I flew out the morning after. This last time, I was able to actually stay a couple days, and we had these other mini get-togethers before and after, and that was a lot more fun. It was a way for us to continue to extend the weekend out, and I really missed that the first year. So if you do plan to go to Spin Up, I suggest maybe giving yourself a little buffer on the beginning and the end of that, and really enjoy the company of everybody.
And I was reading the chat, so if I missed what you just said, staying to the second event afterwards, did you just talk about that?
No, I talked about something completely different.
Okay.
No, that's exactly what I said. No.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
I'm going to reiterate.
I was going to let you, but I said no.
After the event for the day after. Always. Like I said, that's why we're thinking we should push it as part of the event. It's a 2-day event. 1 day is the speakers. 1 day is really the social thing, getting together, shaking hands, meeting new people, because it's really hard actually at the event to get to know everybody. I'm sure there's people there that I might have shook a hand to and didn't get to really know them, but there's a lot of people to talk to. So nothing like that's ever personal, and I think everyone gets along, but you have to have that extra day, and if you don't, the people that leave, you miss out on that bonding experience.
And guys, I do go back and read through all the comments after every show. So if you would comment about your thoughts on having it in Colorado, and also if it would be acceptable to do an hour away from an airport. Basically to have to fly in. I could imagine where we could get together and have carpools and groups of people getting together and sharing rides out here.
There are shuttles.
It's a beautiful
from the
ride,
airport.
by the way.
So if this is something that goes through, there are shuttles from the airport that cost a fraction compared to renting a car that will drop you off right at the hotel that we're eyeballing. So that would be a cheaper way to do it. Then you'd stay in the hotel a couple nights and do the event, the after event, and then out, or you stay and do your own thing afterwards. It's an incredible area.
It's a really pretty area. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons I was excited to come, I haven't been snowboarding in about 3 years, and Ed was learning. So we got a chance to snowboard a bit this year, and I wanted to play some clips from that, because it was a lot of fun. Obviously this isn't something you would do in September if we did it then, but just our opportunity to come here, go to this resort with a discounted ticket that we were able to get was really cool. And you can see here from the footage, they had everything at this resort. They had the bunny slopes with the magic carpet, they had gondolas, they had crashes.
That's
Is that me?
That's it.
That's my first day
It's his first
snowboarding,
time
people.
He did great.
When I was 13, I tried for like 45 minutes. But yes, this is the first real effort. By the way, Mel's off. See you, Mel.
Bye, Mel. Thanks for tuning in. It's something that I really enjoy doing, and I have to say, most of the time when I snowboard, I'm the fastest person or close to it. Not with Sean. I spent a lot of time trying to catch up with Sean this time, but had an awesome time doing it. I do think he has one video here labeled Crash Compilation that I think we can play here real quick. That's all. All right, here we go. Oh,
Yeah. I just wanted them to not feel so bad and let them know that I crash sometimes too.
Oh, is this your crash compilation?
This is me.
Okay, well here we go. This is Sean's crash compilation. 34 seconds of his greatest hits, or we should say hits, literally. Ow.
It's really bad in 360.
Yeah, that one there is that was fun.
And Sean is a big 360 camera guy, so he does have a lot of this footage in 360,
really
which
steep.
is pretty cool. I've become a big fan of the which one is it? The GoPro
Max.
It's
I'm doing the Insta360 1X, the GoPro Max, and I have the 1R actually on the way. It should be here. I tried so hard to get it here before these guys left so that they could actually play with it and do a review on their channels, but it didn't make it. So it's going to be here any day now. So I'll be doing some videos with the 1R comparing all those. So if you guys are interested in action cameras and those, I know a lot about them. I do. I feel like I do.
But even though he didn't have a 1R, he did have the Skydio, and I got my first chance to put my hands on a Skydio. I'm very impressed with the tracking. I will also say about the Skydio that if you don't know how to do it, if you don't know what the beacon does and what all the buttons do on the beacon and such, there's a bit of a learning curve, and you really should learn, because Sean took off down the mountain today on a snowboard with the Skydio chasing him. Ed and I were walking because we were done at that point, and then we see the Skydio come back to its home point. We're like, oh, because we had come halfway down the mountain at that point, and we thought we were gonna have to walk back up there and get it because it was doing a return to home. And Sean's like, yeah, I pushed some button and it was doing something.
I fell over and I crashed it in my pocket. It went beep, and I was like, what just beeped?
Anyway,
and all of a sudden it just took off.
Here's what that footage looked like of it chasing Sean through the woods. And basically, he's got the beacon in his pocket for this shot, and is just going. This isn't even actually part of the resort. This is just somewhere in his neighborhood, like
just a little
hill in his neighborhood that we climbed up, and he rode down it. And the Skydio, you can see it kind of follows him, and then at some point here, he kind of tips over and sits down, and then the Skydio loses him, and it does this cool thing. It actually turned it out pretty cool, where it zipped backwards. Oh wait, was this? Oh, this was when you were doing it the other day. Did you add your other footage in there too?
I could have sworn. Yeah, I think it's right after this.
Okay.
I think this is that wasn't a good sunny day, and the Skydio definitely works better the sunnier it is.
It looks really nice in the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it looks fantastic. But the point was that he.
I think it's right after this clip.
Okay.
I hope.
Oh yeah, because this is another minute to go, so it must have a little while.
But yeah, so the Skydio, you can change the direction as you're moving. You can say, hey, I want it in front of me, beside me, angled to me, behind me, wherever, and then as soon as it has a pocket, it will move to that area and then follow you. That's how it is in front of you.
Okay, I think what we're looking at now is today.
Yeah, it looks like today.
And it was getting really cold. The sun was about to go down. It was getting really windy, and we actually hadn't even brought any snowboard boots up. We just brought a board. I carried the board up because I was originally going to ride it down, but Sean decided to, and I think that was a better call. He did it in his regular shoes, which was kind of funny.
It was really hard to do.
Oh, wow.
But you can see the Skydio here just picking its way through the trees, just trying to figure out how to get around stuff, which it's doing a great job. And then this is where he fell or sat down or something. And then all of a sudden, he must have pushed a button in his pocket, and then it just took off backwards. And Ed and I, like I said, are walking down the hill, and we just see it go over our head back to where we were. And I said, not it.
So it turns out somehow in my pocket it went into a droney. I pushed a button and it said, "Oop, automatic droney," which is sort of cool because as you're tracking, it can do things like that. And I didn't realize that until that accidental second there. That's also where the GoPro battery fell out of my pocket, and now it's lost in the snow forever.
Oh, Sean's really upset about that.
I am.
You've
I've been
been
talking about it for a couple hours.
Well, tell him what happened to me.
Oh, he was not as upset. I'm more upset over my damn
What
battery.
did I lose?
Than he was. He. Where's your phone?
Well, it's somewhere.
He's got his phone. He's getting ready to go snowboard. He's checking to use the Insta360 1X. Goes to put his phone back in his pocket right here. Let's go. And it just fell to the ground, and he waddled off to do whatever. And he's like, where the hell is my phone?
Nice choice
It was
of words.
gone.
Waddled off. Anyway, I wasn't a whiny little bitch about it. I go with the flow. I went down, made friends with somebody at the guest services place. She let me borrow her phone, an iPhone, to do a Find Friends. We figured out where it was, and then it wasn't there. And then Sean went up with me, and we basically traipsed all around this area, went down to the snow patrol, and finally one of those guys actually turned it on, and we walk around, and he hits the beep button, and there's a dude up the hill holding it. He's like, "Is this yours?"
I'm actually impressed. He did not lose his temper. He didn't freak out. He's like, I guess I gotta buy a new one.
He said, he's like, I'm not going to let this ruin my experience. So no, it was good. But
Really
and I'm so glad you got it back. That's awesome.
I was really happy I got it back too, and I was pretty confident I would. I don't think anybody comes to the mountain to steal a phone, but you know, that's how it was. Anyway, what else is going on in the chat? Anything interesting?
Well, you made Steve Carpenter's evening by showing the Skydio 2 tracking
Oh,
shot.
awesome,
Sweet.
Steve. I'm glad
Thank
you
you.
enjoyed that. There's more Skydio footage to come, and if you like that tracking, that's nothing compared to what we're going to show you in a minute. So make sure you don't leave yet.
Oh yeah. You want to see the Skydio tracking?
This is mind blowing to me.
Okay, so this isn't actually tracking though. This is
No,
just
this
flying.
is just flying it with the
Okay,
controller.
go ahead. Yeah, I'm rolling it.
So
Talk
the
about it.
controller is Wi-Fi, so that's the downfall because you can't go too far. But as we mentioned earlier, as you're flying through things, it's got those sensors all around it, which help prevent it from hitting things. So if you're flying it like a regular drone and you're like skimming really close to stuff or going sideways through trees, like you can see through here, it's not hitting them. I mean, look at that shot.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and Sean wasn't even, he was just basically pushing the stick and saying, all right, I'm going to not try to hit things, but I'm also not going to try to avoid things.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna do
didn't
its thing.
care if I
Right.
hit something. I wasn't purposely trying to, but I didn't care. I just wanted to fly and fly through them the best that I could.
So that
to
clip
try
right
to get
there,
shots.
you're just going backward, right? And you're not moving
Full
at
back.
all yourself. You're just going backward, and it's taking its route around
the
these trees.
droney one that we did.
Yeah.
I just lined it up to us, hit back, and it went around the trees. I did go up with it eventually, but that was it. Everything else, the sensors just kept it from hitting stuff.
We had no issues with it hitting
No,
anything.
not even close.
It was awesome.
And I think this is a misconception. People think, oh, this is a tracking drone. We need to get it if I only do things on a skateboard, or I have to go out on a sailboat, or I have to do whatever, snowboarding, whatever. I don't think that people are seeing this clearly, that you can do stuff with this that you just can't do. And honestly, this is the most fun I've had flying a drone since drones became a thing.
Wow.
Like over 6 years. This has got me excited to fly again.
That's crazy.
So speaking of, though, flying and not hitting things, our man Ed Ricker here, he had a good time at that same location where we were flying the Skydio. He took his, tell us about what you did up there. Let's take a look.
I took that last snow, and my flight was forced to the top, which is the electronics don't too well in water. These flights do generate heat, so I was hoping that I might get some sort of short, as opposed to that. So basically, I just wanted to let people know I used silicone conformal coating to brush around the circuitry, so that allowed me to continue to fly. At this point in time, it was really interesting. There was a ton of snow on the inside, on top of the flight controller, all the wind runners, and I was asked about the Skydio 2. To be honest, I have my headset started to fog up, which was scary. Sorry, that eventually turned to frost. There was little frost on my lenses. The IPV control was frozen, couldn't be. Oh, can you still hear me now? Oh, it's too loud.
Okay, so what was the last thing you heard Ed say?
Let's go back
Well,
there.
more than likely, not much. That's a loud prop noise. But okay, so I basically took silicone conformal coating and painted it on the electronics of my FPV quad in order to prevent shorting, circuitry shorting, because a lot of my parts of my FPV quad were packed with snow, and of course the quad generates heat as well as it flies. So I just didn't want something to burn up or something to fall out of the sky. And a lot of these parts of the video, you can see it's not a good place to be dropping a quad. In fact, some of these places we're stepping around, we're trying to walk around, we go up to almost our hips in just powdered snow.
Yeah, what do you
It's
call
crazy.
that, Sean? When you step in
Oh,
and
post hole.
yeah, you dig a post hole when you step
You
in
just
and
step
you
in,
just
it's
go.
called post hole in it.
We would not have found pretty much any drone that we would have not been able to see where it had fallen line of sight.
Just like my battery, gone forever.
So as I was saying, also my FPV headset was starting to fog up.
Someone says use fans in cold weather.
Use
With
fans
your
of cold
goggles.
water. Oh yeah, I have fans in there, but I run hot, I guess, and so I was just fogging things up, and it eventually turned to frost on my goggles. So I just said enough. Oh, and my GoPro stopped working. My GoPro Hero 7 Black got so cold it wouldn't accept any battery, even though the batteries were fully charged. it would turn on, say 0%, and then turn off immediately. It was
That is a
disappointing.
problem I have a lot up here when I'm snowboarding on cold days. Is my battery is at 90%? Boom, I turn it on. It's at like 10%. Boom, it's dead. And then I put it back in the car later, and it's at 90% again. Your iPhone would do that. You know, if you're out here and you're gonna go in the cold, you can get a cozy koozie like for your beer, and put your iPhone in there, and then put it in your pocket, and then make your battery last longer.
That's only if you don't have a beer in it.
Well, I wouldn't have a beer in it. I don't drink. No, Kelly would have 2 beers. There's a lot of people that actually you'll see them on the list and stuff, and they'll break out beers. Like the guy was saying, what at the end of the season, the most of the things they find when the snow melts away is GoPros and bottles of Fireball.
I don't even know what Fireball is.
It's
Like a hot drink.
And then us, we're like, I'm trying to just drink as much water as I can and not get this whole altitude
I know.
sickness.
I bought a 6-pack of beer, and these guys aren't even helping me finish it, so I don't want to leave it here.
Kill it off. Kill it off.
Here I go.
Gina
So,
would drink it.
so I wanted to also mention our flight on the frozen lake, which is going to show up right here. This was the first time I've ever walked on a frozen lake. I think this was the first night, right?
Yes.
This is footage from it. And this is the Mavic Mini, right?
Yes.
So how thick is this water, or this ice?
About 3 feet.
About 3 feet of ice. But Sean still managed to step in a spot where there was some water, right?
No, I put my hand in it.
Oh, that's where they dug through. Yeah. How did
I
they
just
get
stuck
through
my
it?
hand as far as I could to see if I could feel underneath it, but it was deeper than the ice block was deeper than my arm.
Bunch of ice fishermen out there, right? Or as Ken called us, a bunch of ice holes, right? So anyway, that was pretty cool. We not only flew the Mavic Mini, or Ed flew the Mavic Mini on there, but he also flew the Mavic Mini up at 11,000 feet, which was on our way up to that pass I was talking about. And this is the footage from that right here. It doesn't look like much. It kind of looks like it's standing still, but that's because there was so much wind. I think it was just kind of barely moving. And then the road was closed. And right at the time when we're just about to get to the point where they're going to let us actually, or where we were done, the snowplow comes along, and we managed to get the drone all the way up to the top. And here's what happened when we got it to the top.
Hey, they cleaned off, put a new sign up. It's about 0 degrees. And he does. Whoa, look at the fight. Can you not even control it? Go down, go down, go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. Okay, you're in a.
So as you could hear, I was shouting, "Go down, go down, go down!" Like Ed was going to go up or something like that. Okay, I don't know what I'll do. It's really windy. I'll just keep climbing.
All I knew to do was just to get it back on the ground because it hit Sean's car. You might have seen that. Not car. I'm sorry. I don't mean to call it a car. It got us up to it got us up to 12,000 feet, and pretty well, I might add. But yeah, we finally got it down. So yeah, thankfully we still have a Mavic Mini in our possession.
Yes, yours.
Yes.
Which by the way, he does have DJI refresh on. So
yes, that wouldn't have helped if it went over the cliff.
Wouldn't have covered it if it went 12,000 feet down.
But if you had State Farm insurance,
Yeah.
Even if it's lost.
Yep.
You don't have to
You
prove
just-
it's lost.
disappears, and you say, hey, it got stolen, it got whatever.
Oh well, okay.
They send you a check back.
Yay, State Farm.
Except in California.
All right, well, guys, I feel like we've gone an hour. I feel like we've covered a lot of topics here.
We still got more of the ice footage.
You want to talk a little bit more about the ice castle?
We got
Okay.
a clip of
Let me
all the
just
inside stuff. It's beautiful.
let me just.
Are you getting tired, Kelly?
Wait, is Kelly wanting to end? We still got
We've
clips.
only got
spent
45
all that
minutes,
time
Kelly.
to make those clips.
All right, so talk about the ice castle.
Okay, so I can't really see it right now. Okay, so I can see it good now. Ice Castle is like a thing that they've been doing for a few years here in Dillon. It's made obviously completely with water. Every night they just start taking hoses and things and start building these ice sculptures until you get this enormous giant. Yeah. I mean, it is giant ice castle.
It's really cool.
Lights
It's
in it.
definitely worth checking out.
It's a bucket list item.
Oh, come on, Kelly. Don't make me do this.
This is where you're standing.
Don't make me crawl through your legs.
through your legs. We'll
Yeah,
put it that way.
well,
Through
why don't
your
we talk
legs.
about how you warmed up your
stop
Skydio
Stop it. I
battery?
don't say anything bad. There's no bad language.
There's no bad language.
No, there's not.
We have not been cursing at all this weekend.
And the ground in this thing is like chopped ice. It's almost like walking through heavy sand.
Yeah.
But it was chopped. I love the ground.
Yeah,
It's the
it
weirdest
did feel
thing,
like
isn't it?
sand. It kind of felt like margarita ice, that really
Yeah,
stuff.
right?
Wasting away again and
But if you ever are in a place, I think there's like 6 of them they make across the U.S. And if you are ever in a spot, it's a bucket list kind of item. You should at least, if you're close enough, go check it out.
All right. So anything else interesting in the chat here? We got Chris Hope in there. Hey, Chris, what's up? Good to see you. Yes, Chris, we were using the hot hands to actually keep the batteries warm, the little hand heater things, and they worked okay, not great. What else we got? You see anything else?
Check out what Steve Carpenter just said.
What
Read
did
that,
Steve say?
Kelly.
Totally, Sean Oz is the best live show yet. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah,
Gosh.
thanks, guys.
Hey guys, don't tell Philip, okay? He's gonna have his heart. I don't even see him in here. Philip, where are you, man? No, it's lots of fun. It's lots of fun to do these shows from not only from home, but to do them from different locations. We did figure out that this condo has blazing fast internet, so that's been
Yeah, so
really
hopefully
cool.
the speed is good for you guys, and you're not getting lag and choppy
I haven't.
choppies.
I would have gotten a notice over here. If
Oh,
I
really?
did. So yeah, and Mel, I did this whole thing in Wirecast and didn't have any crashes. Mel's not in there anymore,
But this worked out good too. The couch is more room. It's more comfortable than we were going to do it at my shop, which you saw earlier in the video when they were flying around through it. But my internet upload speeds were like 6, and they were like 16 here.
yeah,
or something like
quite a
that.
bit
I
faster
can also
here.
say bye, Art. You're heading out. See you later.
Who's leaving?
Art.
Oh,
Art Drone Solutions.
Hey, and Art is the one that won the RoboMaster.
He mentioned that
So,
earlier. Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah,
He puts out a couple of videos about that actually.
yeah. I'm glad
He,
that
he did
got it.
a assembly video, and then he's done a couple of things about it, like rolling on snow and
So
ice.
if you guys are interested in the RoboMaster, you go check out Art's channel.
Very cool.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, Rick is asking how your jacket worked, Kelly.
Oh, the Aurora jacket.
Do you have it with you?
Yes.
It's right over there.
It's right over there. Yeah.
So this guy was warm,
I was
and he's got settings. He's got
He's got settings.
he's got a low.
settings.
He's got a medium. He's got a high.
So this
And an
jacket,
off. He's got an off too.
If you haven't seen it, it has a little light that actually lights up, and it basically has heaters built into it, and it's really awesome. I'm trying to get one for Sean because he could use it more than me. But
So we got Max Drone Work saying, yes, thanks for compiling your adventures on the go. Great editing under trying conditions. And we appreciate that because it was pretty hilarious because we were all in 3 different spots with our laptops editing as fast as we could to try to make the time that we set to do this video for you guys.
Should also say hey to Tim from Australia. Awesome. Let's see. We also have one from Chris. Chris says, "What's up from Tampa, Florida?" All right, very cool. We got a lot of people coming in. Oh, and Addie. Oh, Addie's in here. Very nice. Addie is getting into FPV. I think he just got one of the simulators recently. I've been doing some FPV simulators, but yeah. Anyway, Addie's a great guy, and he always chimes in on my channel. So very cool to see you, Addie.
Addie was also at Spin Up, and
Oh yes. So he had sent me a couple of messages and some comments. I looked at his channel, and for some reason I thought I knew him and met him in person before Spin Up. So when I saw him at Spin Up, I actually thought I knew him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I only knew him through YouTube. So I guess that's how a lot of people feel.
It happens in Spin Up. It definitely happens.
Oh jeez.
We got Ray Kelly saying, looks like it was very cold there. Now, I'll tell you, the day before it wasn't, but today was really
cold. Yeah.
Really cold.
It was super duper cold. But I mean, we also had, I think I showed you guys a little bit of that snow footage earlier. We also had some really beautiful times like this right here where the sun had come out, and this is basically just a droney off the balcony of the condo, but
Mavic Zoom.
total sunshine, blue skies, and then an hour later it was freezing cold and windy again. So it's one of those things where you just really can't quite predict what's going to happen. I think Colorado is almost worse than Texas in that regard.
Yeah, there's something about the way that the mountains actually hold clouds and weather that it literally can change within 15 minutes and be a completely different climate in no time at all.
And Steve Carpenter, you demand, thank you for the super chat. And again, thank you very much for allowing us, I guess Sean mostly, to get your place in line for the Skydio because it was pretty awesome to be able to check it out. I'm a fan of it. I want to play with it more. I feel like it's one of those drones that if you do spend a little bit of time with it, you could figure out where it fits. It's not the perfect drone for every situation or for everyone, but I think in certain circumstances, particularly if you have a lot of potential obstacles you could run into, it does a killer job of avoiding them, even when you're flying with the remote.
Yeah, you should play the tree part again.
And the remote control, you know, just to get into it here, the remote control on that thing was amazing because it's actually the remote from the Parrot. The Anafi. Yeah, I mean, it looks exactly the same. I do wish that they would make their own remote.
I do.
And it felt a little cheap, but yeah, I mean, again, just the ability. You'd almost think somebody was flying an FPV quad in this footage, and they're not. They're just flying the Skydio.
It looks smoother than the FPV footage.
Well, it does, but it's also.
I don't have to like quickly move to not.
You also don't have to be an FPV expert in order to do it, right?
No.
I mean, you're actually able to do this with just flying around.
I'll tell you what, if Skydio right now made a new controller for this one that actually fixed the issues with this controller so I could have a stronger signal, so I could have a little bit further range, but mostly just to not have a signal that breaks up, I would spend the money to buy another controller tomorrow.
Really?
Even though I've already spent money on this one.
And
it would need to hold the phone better too. So Skydio, if you see this, make a new controller. Make it hold the phone better.
Hold on.
Have a better connection.
You guys taking notes?
Yeah, because that's your weak point, and you could be selling this so much harder to so many more people if you just fixed and focused on that one little thing.
Should give a shout out to Rick for another super chat. Thanks for the great show, guys. Thank you very much, Rick.
Oh, Rick, man, thank you so much.
Our numbers are growing. We have more people watching than we did like 20 minutes ago.
That's awesome.
Well, there you go.
That's awesome, guys. I appreciate those who've been here from the beginning of the show as well.
Yes. No, you guys, as you know, I very much appreciate what this community does for everyone involved in it. I do know from Chris Hope, he's been keeping me up to date. We have a few folks that are having some health issues, and I'm not going to talk about that right now, but I think the way that we support each other when we're needed, you know, especially when there's health issues, car accidents, any of that kind of stuff, either financially, morally, spiritually, we all just support each other, and I just think that's so awesome. Thank you guys, and your support to me is ultimately watching this thing for me. I mean, just the fact that I have people that tune in and sit here and watch this with me means the world to me. I'm a big believer in quit while everybody's still having fun. I know these guys are having fun and they're going to be mad at me, but I'm going to say goodnight.
Yeah. Why don't you go to bed and just leave it running and we'll just host it?
Because it's my channel.
Oh, man.
It's the golden rule. He who makes the gold makes the rules. So you guys are the best. You guys are all right. It's been great hanging out with you. Thank you so much, Mappers 2. Hey, John, what's going on, man? I saw a comment from you today on Instagram. So thank you guys who've been checking out the Instagram. By the way, I've been trying to do some good Instagram. What's funny here, I actually lost 3 Instagram followers since I've been here. And my Instagram posts have been on point. So anyway, all that is great. Any last words, Sean?
We might just, if you guys want, we'll just open up my web chat and we'll just continue this on that. And we'll do it on my channel, and Ed and I can like host it for a little while. Or you want to sing too, Ed?
I just want to say, and I hope this doesn't extend anything. I'm sorry, Kelly. I just wanted to say, Goji or Gogi. You said any tips for flying in the cold? We went through a couple of them, but the biggest thing I could just say. Keep your batteries warm.
Yep.
There's not much you can do once the drone's already up there in the sky, but you can do a lot of preparation work. Keep in your pockets, keep in your jacket, get some sort of warmer thing.
We did find a way to warm the batteries.
because batteries are the weakest link when it comes to cold, unless of course it's freezing rain or something. But yeah, so that's my final thought. I just wanted to answer that question.
And we did spend a lot of time warming batteries today. If we had been smarter and had planned better, we would have had them already pre-warmed.
Yeah, because our second battery with the Skydio would not. It just gave me a too cold warning, which I've never actually had a drone say, "Hey, you can't take off your battery; it's too cold."
It's better than falling out of the sky, though.
It is. Mm-hmm. So we had to shove it down in my pants and warm it up for a while, and it worked.
Yeah.
So if a tip in the cold: if you have no hand warmers, you have nothing going on, shove it right in the your area down there.
And if Sean ever sells his Skydio too, just know that the battery was in his pants and it smells that way. So.
Joe says Kelly's getting sleepy. Yeah, we better.
Kelly's been sleepy for a few hours, but no. I've had a good time. Again, this was spontaneous, and I prefer that my shows end while everybody's still having a good time. So thank you all. I will be doing the first Friday of March, and I will be announcing the next subscriber of the month. I will be sending my subscriber of the month for February, Tater Rogers, one of these, along with some other cool stuff. I have quite a few things to give out. And Sean, you wanted to say something?
If you guys don't know Ed Ricker already, go over to the Ed Ricker channel. And subscribe to him.
Well,
Right?
thank you.
Because it's we're here.
And subscribe to Sean Eyes.
very
Go
much.
to his channel too.
Thank you.
I think we should subscribe to all of us.
Yeah, and you probably already subscribed to this guy.
more than likely.
Could be.
Oh, well,
I appreciate it.
if you have, turn the bell on. If you haven't,
There you go.
There's always something extra you can do.
Ding.
Always, and like this video, I mean, hey, you could keep going with everything. All right, I'm gonna say, take care, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Okay.
All right,
Anything
good night,
else we're
everybody.
missing before we take off here? Everyone's just saying goodbye. Need a video on warm batteries. Rick, that might be an X-rated video.
That's actually, yeah. Sean,
I'll just stand up. I'll have batteries all in
yeah.
my crotch.
That's how he gets the ladies is by.
You can drop the battery out.
All right. On that note, we'll see you guys. Thanks for watching.
Later,
Peace.
later, guys.
Turn your volume.
The story with Oregon Live.
Still 45 people watching. Now people are asking for shout-outs. I hate when people do that. God, he just said like.